Good evening, Tallahassee. This is student meteorologist Josh Malay here with your first Thursday night forecast of the semester. So as you look at Doak, cloudy but looking nice overall. And right now we're hanging around a nice and beautiful 59 degrees. No winds whatsoever to add on to the wind chill or any wind chill whatsoever. We do have rain coming in from the southwest into Cross City, but for the most part, it's just going to be a lighter rain. Just make sure if you're on I-75, take it nice and slow, or just slow down a little bit more. Tonight, it's going to be very nice. Actually, it's going to be a lot nicer than the last two nights at 45 degrees. So partly cloudy skies, not the best night to go stargazing if you plan on doing that, but tomorrow will be even nicer because we'll be at 63 for our max tomorrow. So no worries about the cool temperatures that we faced, but we will have some showers in the morning, so factor in some time. Tonight, we're going to talk about the first Thursday show of the semester, a cold spell for the weekend, and our first bird of the week for 2024. All that and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening, Tallahassee. We have a very exciting show for you today, but the main story of the week has actually been the cold weather. Joy, were you able to see the icicles in the fountain by Stadium?
Actually, no. I did see it on social media, but it was pretty cold. I had to let my pipes drip, and it was just insane walking outside and just feeling how crisp it was. I was so cold. What about you?
Yeah, I was able to walk by the stadium and I was able to see the icicles. It was pretty cool. I don't think in my 4 years in Tallahassee have I seen or experienced that cold of weather, and we're still going to get some more weather in the 20s later on in the upcoming weeks. So, Summer, what do you have to tell us about Florida for today?
Yeah, so we're going to be looking locally here, starting off at our beloved Doak Campbell Stadium. Switching to the temperatures here, 55 degrees currently in Tallahassee. Pretty mild compared to what we saw this morning. It was down in the 20s, in the 30s as well, and even further north, they were a little bit trending closer to the teens. Dew points fairly dry all over our area here. Apalachicola 47 degrees, Tallahassee 41 degrees. Again, really dry conditions right now. And our heat index is at 59 degrees here in Tallahassee. And Thomasville 52. As we get a little closer to the coast, down by Apalachicola 53. So fairly, everyone's sitting in pretty comfortable conditions right now, close to the 60s for the heat index for today. Today, our high was 62 and our low was lovely 26 degrees. We weren't near our low 15. We were slightly above that, our record low, which was set in 1965. So we're really definitely below average for this time of year right now, but hopefully we'll be trending warmer in the next few days. So Tallahassee, as you can see, there's really nothing going on here. Off to my east here, traveling towards Jacksonville, you're going to see some showers, and again to the west, slight showers coming through as well. Into the day, through tonight and into the day tomorrow, we're going to be seeing a lot of clouds coming through our way, pushing into Tallahassee and moving east towards Jacksonville. It may bring some spotty showers early on in the morning for really all of our areas here, Perry, Madison as well. You guys may be seeing some spotty showers in the morning. 45 degrees tonight, so if you're going out, I suggest wearing a jacket. That's slightly chilly, partly cloudy, and there's going to be some slight winds, so that may make it feel even cooler. 52 degrees tonight, Tallahassee. There's a chance of rain as that system's coming through tonight. You may start to see some rain as you're out and about, really across our entire area. Apalachicola down here, 60 degrees, fairly comfortable tonight. Again, much better than it was this morning. 64 degrees tomorrow, partly cloudy here, and again, really our entire area, as we were mentioning, those clouds and that rain coming through, it's going to be partly cloudy throughout our entire area, and again, a chance of rain in most of our counties here. Tomorrow, that story stays the same. Rain in the morning, slight chance, and cooler in the morning. We're going to warm up a little bit around noon, 60 degrees, and then cool down again at night. Same story, hasn't really changed much. And Friday, 64 degrees tomorrow, that rain, and we're going to be, as we get into the weekend, we're going to see a frontal passage, and that's going to bring our cooler temperatures. As you can see, 25 degrees down here. That is quite chilly on Sunday morning. We'll be seeing that. But you can see these lovely 7s in front of there, 70s in the later week. But that, of course, will be bringing some rain, as that always does with the warmer weather this time of year. We're going to pass things off to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what do you have going on?
So I'm going to be talking about Florida's forecast for the next few days. So starting out with some live cameras, lots of cloud cover across the area, or the whole state rather, as we see that subtropical jet set over the state of Florida right now. So fairly cloudy as we head into sunset here. And these temperatures pretty wide ranging as you head from northern Florida down to the southern part of the state. We're at 55 here in Tallahassee, 56 in Pensacola right now. We're sitting at 76 in Miami and in the Keys right now. So we could definitely see that that front did not quite make its way down there that we saw a few days ago. So for our dew point forecast, we'll see another cold front come through tomorrow, and that is going to bring our dew points down a lot, at least for the majority of the state, as we see lots of cold and dry air move its way down. We'll see our dew points hit the teens even in northern Florida right there, so definitely chapstick weather for this weekend as we head into Thursday. But right now, no rain to talk about. We have a few showers heading off to the east right there. No concern to us here in Tallahassee, but we will be seeing some rain as that frontal system moves through tonight into the early morning hours. So just about half an inch for the northern part of the state, and then we'll see some more in South Florida as we see this warm front move to the north there, and that's going to add some moisture into the air to bring some more rain. So for the next 3 days in Miami, we will see it cool down a bit once we see that front pass through. We'll see 70s for the weekend, and for Tampa, we'll see a big drop in temperature when that front moves through. It'll be high 72 tomorrow, 58 on Saturday, and 61 on Sunday. In Orlando, more of the same as like in Tampa. We'll see low 60s for the weekend forecast. And for Jacksonville, it'll be even cooler as we head into the 50s and even the upper 40s for our high temperature on Sunday. And in Pensacola, even more chillier. And as you can tell, our rain chances will be slightly lower as you head more north in the state. Our high is 55 on Friday, 45 on Saturday, and 49 on Sunday. So for tonight, generally chilly for the area, but not as chilly as we've been seeing. We'll see a low of 26 in Pensacola, 30 in Tallahassee, and mid to upper 50s for the majority of the state. Warmer tomorrow before that front moves through, mainly 70s for south of I-10 there, and mid-60s as we head into the northern part of the state. And so we're not the only people seeing this cold weather, right, Josh? It's generally most of the southeast, too.
Overall, most of the southeast is seeing that cold weather. So we have Clemson at 45, Tampa at 48, Atlanta also at 48. Basically, the cold weather is extending everywhere except for Miami, which is staying at very nice and toasty 77. So as you see right now across the southeast, we're mainly hanging around the 30s to 50s, and we actually jump drastically to Miami at 76, but we also see Orlando and Tampa in the 60s as well. As Elizabeth mentioned earlier in her segment, we will see that another cold front will be working its way through the Florida Peninsula and pushing down, bring back in even cooler temperatures and also lower dew points. So we will see dry conditions throughout the area. And especially here in Tallahassee and throughout the rest of the southeast, we're not going to have any big chance for precip whatsoever. Currently, right now, we're not having too much very strong winds so far, but we do have some winds, mainly New Orleans at 12 from the southeast. Also, a southerly wind coming from Birmingham and Atlanta at 8 and 7 miles per hour, respectively. Now, with water vapor, we do have some water vapor working its way through the deep south, going into Mississippi and working its way into Georgia, but that's not going to be able to power a whole lot of precipitation, especially snow, so you won't have to worry too much about that. However, one thing to keep in mind is that we will have some rain in the forecast, so it's not going to be too heavy, but we will be expecting some rain, especially tomorrow throughout the southeast. And then Sunday, we're going to see those cooler temperatures work its way into our forecast. Now, for the next 3 days, we'll mainly see some lighter rains. Heavier rain will be more concentrated up into western Virginia, West Virginia as well. But for the most part, it's just going to be on and off of light rain throughout the next 72 hours. Now tonight, though, we will be seeing some cooler temperatures much warmer than we've been seeing the last 2 days, but still cool nonetheless. I do see some pockets of rain, especially Tupelo and Montgomery, and also Central Florida. And then tomorrow, we will be seeing warmer temperatures, and it will eventually start to warm back up, but we will need to keep those jackets in mind, just a light jacket whatsoever, as you won't have to worry about wind chill. But speaking of wind chill, Summer, Joy, tell us more about it.
Thank you, Josh. Yes, wind chill, it is something that we experienced this weekend, and we will experience it again this weekend. Our temperatures were 23, but it felt like 16. Why did it feel like 16? It's because of the wind chill effect. The whole point of wind chill is that it strips off a layer of your skin that is in thermal equilibrium with the air, which means that there's no transfer of kinetic energy, and temperature is a measurement of kinetic energy, in fact. So when it does say that it's 22, but it feels like 16 because of the wind, it is stripping that layer away, making it feel even colder on your skin, as said by the first point.
Right, and that's right, Joy. So the stronger the wind, the more heat lost from your body, and the colder you will feel. So as that wind starts to pick up, that thin layer is then stripped away from your skin, and it's going to make you feel colder, and it'll be colder than it actually is.
That's right, and the colder the wind chill, the higher risk for hypothermia. So you need to make sure that you dress appropriately. We can see on the left side with no wind, you have that thermal equilibrium, you're nice and comfortable in your layers, but what happens when you introduce wind, Summer?
When you introduce wind, you're again, that layer is stripped away and that heat is moving past you, therefore you're going to be colder. So your temperature is going to drop, and that could lead to hypothermia.
Indeed, so make sure you dress appropriately. And speaking of winter weather, we're going to see a lot more happening. We will have some snow as early as Thursday night in Chicago, and by Friday morning, you're going to have a lot of accumulation of snow that's going to happen in the central Appalachians and interior Northeast.
Right, and there's actually back-to-back storms. They're delivering a 1-2 punch to the northwest with freezing rain and ice in Oregon. And in Washington, there's heavy snow through the region's interior, which we're going to dive a little deeper into throughout the show.
Right, so you can see this radar, and there will be a low pressure system that's going to just move across the Ohio Valley. It's going to bring about 2 to 4 inches of snow just in this central region, but people in the central Appalachians could see actually upwards of more than 6 inches. And if you take a look at the Pacific Northwest, so we have this Arctic air that's coming down, it's going to stay in this area for a few days, which could cause a lot of problems with icing. So it's very important to be weather aware in this situation.
Right, yes, definitely. And for that northwest winter storm, there actually are some key messages from the National Weather Service that they've put out. So again, you have to, prepare for that storm tonight through tomorrow. It's going to be occurring. There's going to be some heavy snow, and even some areas are going to see some freezing rain, which is really just a dangerous threat. There's going to be ice on the roads. There's going to be a lot of snow. It's going to be, the conditions are not going to be safe to, drive and travel out in. There's probably going to be a lot of flight cancellations and a lot of things of that sort through the weekend due to these storms in the country.
Right, and as you can see, this entire region of the U.S. will be impacted by snow, as highlighted by the blue areas, and if you're looking down into the purple areas, that could be a mix of like wintry precipitation, including freezing rain, which is really common around the central Appalachians, and then even just normal rain further south of that, just because the temperatures aren't cool enough to have frozen precipitation. So again, we have this graphic that's going to teach us how to dress for cold weather. So for extreme cold, make sure you layer up and bundle up to keep from that wind chill. And it's really important to just be weather aware in terms of winter precipitation and conditions in general. But I would like to know what's really going on around the country. Elizabeth, highlight more of that, please, in our national.
Yes, so it's very nice that we had this segment here because lots of places in the country are thinking about this winter weather and these wind chills because these are our current temperatures. So it is 1 degree in Bismarck right now, 8 in Minneapolis, 5 in Billings. It's even 59 in Dallas and 55 in Albuquerque right now. So that is very cool, at least for what we see. And we think of New Mexico and Arizona as hot, like what we see during the summer. So this is really crazy what we're seeing here. And these dew points, only a few spots are green. Of course, it's Florida. We are the green thumb of America, of course. Lots of dry air, though. We have our dew points below zero, 4 below zero in Minneapolis, 8 below, 7 below. And so when you get that is when you get the wind chill, and it is very, very dry. So make sure that you are layering up because it is going to feel extremely cold. And that's because we have two systems. So we have this front right here, and this is the one that we have been talking about that is going to bring rain here. Not too much rain though, but just enough, and that is going to cool us down as we head through the weekend. But lots of snow heading into the Northeast right now, snow heading into the Midwest right now, and we have this new system up in the Northwest that is heading onshore right now, and that's going to bring lots of rain and wintry weather to the Northwest. As far as our drought monitor goes, lots of places that we saw that were in major droughts last year are kind of in recovery right now. Not really much of a drought to speak of in Florida, and I know that the state of Texas was also a big one as well. They still have some drought in some places, but it is mainly in the southeast that we're seeing most of that drought, and in the desert regions as you headed to New Mexico over there. So rainfall forecasts, unfortunately, most of those places that are still seeing this drought won't get much relief unless you are in the southeast seeing that front move through, and we'll see some more rain, more so in the Northeast. But when we see that system move onshore, we'll see lots of rain heading into Northern California and in the rest of the Northwest as we head into Sunday. So here is a zoomed in look. Lots of rain heading into Seattle and in San Francisco over here. So that is going to make for a wet weekend for the rest of the weekend, and lots of rain and cold for most of the country tomorrow. But luckily we'll see nice weather here in Florida. Now we're going to talk about our bird of the week, and hopefully he'll survive these temperatures.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. So this bird is actually one that I like to associate with winter because it can actually bear a lot of the colder temperatures that other birds can't seem to bear, because they actually winter in much of the southeast of the United States where it's actually really cold. And the bird of the week is the cedar waxwing. And it's called the cedar waxwing because at the edge of its secondaries, it looks like a waxy substance, that reddish coloration. And it specializes in eating fruits. Most of the time, you'll always see these guys munching on berries. They eat a lot of these toxic berries that most other birds can't eat, which is why they are able to find so much food during the winter when other birds aren't able to sustain themselves during these cold temperatures. And cedar waxwings build, the female cedar waxwing takes 5 to 6 days to build a nest, and it may require more than 2,500 individual trips to make that nest, gathering all sorts of little sticks and all sorts of little plants. So you can find the cedar waxwing, like I said, in most of the southeast during the winter, and they're year-round residents in much of the mid-Atlantic, like in Annapolis, Maryland. And right now it's 35 degrees over there and partly cloudy with this very almost calm breeze that's from the south at 1 mile per hour. And for today, the temperature was right below average, with the high being 39 and the low 21, so much below the average of 30. But the high was pretty close to the average, 43, and we unfortunately do not have the records right now for Annapolis, Maryland. And it is pretty chilly. We got that low pressure system that's going to bring in some more colder air and possibly some snow. So most of the region is hovering right above freezing temperatures. And here you can see some of that snow that's going to start to move in, that's actually starting to move in right now. And due to us being in that kind of freezing temperature range, there is some mixed precipitation. You might be able to get some snow or rain depending on the temperatures of the region. As for the future radar, that low pressure system is going to make its way in from the east, and it's going to bring some light snow over much of the mid-Atlantic, bringing some small accumulations of snow and mixed precipitation. As for our 4-day forecast, our bird friends are going to be a little bit chilly since we are going to have temperatures well below freezing in 26 on Saturday, but then it rises slightly again on Monday, back up into the 40s. So Josh, what's going on the lifestyle around here in Tallahassee?
So as we've been seeing across most of the country, Tallahassee is not very different. We're seeing very colder than normal temperatures across the region. But I will say one thing that's very nice, though, is that everywhere across Tallahassee looks absolutely gorgeous with these stunning clouds. But right now, when we are feeling temperatures in the mid-50s, 55 in Tallahassee, 53 in Bainbridge, 51 in Thomasville. So right now, it's pretty nice outside, although it's going to definitely get colder, but thankfully not as cold as we've been feeling the last 2 nights. So currently, we are seeing dew points in the in the low 40s, upper 30s. So it's not going to be, it's going to definitely be a little bit more moist than what we've been feeling these past couple of days, but it will dry back up for the weekend, mainly because we have another cold front that will be passing through. Now, Wednesday, we saw actually found it at the University Center that there was icicles, and when I saw this, I was completely shocked, but also, let me actually get out of the way. I will say this though, it looks really cold though, not gonna lie, but yeah, that just shows how cold it was, and we quite frankly do not see this much often, so this is very impressive to me at my time here at Florida State. Now, going on to the airport delays for anybody that's traveling like me, eventually going to be traveling next week. Right now for Tallahassee, we do not have any delays, and that pattern will be the same across the rest of the country. No delays whatsoever to worry about. We do have some rain in Orlando, so do be on the lookout for that and plan for some extra time and some delays that will come up as a result of rain later tonight. Now, tomorrow, we will see some AM showers, so if you're coming in, and I know parking's been hectic lately, allow some even more extra time, just so that way you can get a good parking spot, but also you can get there safe and sound. But tomorrow we will be having some pretty nice temperatures. We will finally be back in the 60s as we like in the winter, but as we said for tomorrow, walk your dog at 11 a.m., preferably in the afternoon, so that way it's nice and warm, but also you don't have to worry about the rain. And 7 a.m. is not going to be the ideal time because it's still going to be dark, and also 9 with the rain. Now, for pollen reports, I'm glad to say that we will have nothing to worry about in terms of pollen, grass, weeds, trees, all low across the whole board. So no need to worry about having extreme pollen amounts, and also no need to worry about your cars getting dirty. If you're going to play sports tonight, showers will be coming in late tonight, so don't worry too much. Just make sure that you bring an umbrella just in case for your ride home. Tomorrow for the beach, I would go after 11, and tonight you're going to want to go, make sure just to bring a light jacket. But Joy, what's happening across the rest of Tallahassee?
Well, I will let you know what's going across the rest of Tallahassee here. Our we have those clouds in the sky, you can see. Nothing too crazy outside. It is 59. Our wind is calm, so we do not have a wind chill effect right now, which is lovely. I do personally enjoy 59 degrees with no wind chill. Actually, now it's saying 55. So across our board here, we're having some mid-50s temperatures. Pretty comfortable. The clouds will remain as we have some weather pass into our area within the next couple of hours. Our dew points are higher than they have been, but it is still pretty dry, so I would highly recommend wearing lotion on your hands or even wearing chapstick on your lips. And as I mentioned, we have no wind, nothing too crazy to make our temperatures feel even cooler, but tonight they will drop just a little bit as some weather passes. We will have rain throughout the entire Big Bend region. It will be 60 down in Apalachicola, but if we look over here in Madison and Valdosta, it will be 49. So pretty chilly in my opinion, but as of right now, we have no showers to worry about unless you are down in Cross City or traveling on I-75, so drive safe. And if you are west near Pensacola, you could see some pop-up showers, but here in Tallahassee, nothing to worry about for tonight. But as the day progresses and night falls, you can see showers coming in and a bunch of clouds rolling into the area due to the subtropical jet stream being over Florida. But once midday tomorrow occurs, our temperatures and weather should be pretty clear, and there should be nothing to worry about in terms of anything ruining your day. And in terms of your day, as I mentioned, rain in the morning, the chances will decrease as the day goes on, and then by noon it should be partly cloudy and the temperature should be nice and comfortable at 60 degrees, and throughout the evening it'll dip down to mid-50s. And if you are driving to leave town for some reason, I would highly recommend waiting until all the showers pass. It will be 60 by noon, and by 3 p.m. 62, nice and comfortable driving conditions. And if you are traveling to Syracuse, New York for the basketball game, it will be a shockingly 26 degrees, and that is Thursday at 7 p.m. And if you are going to Mississippi for the men's tennis game, it'll be 37 and mostly sunny. So you will be experiencing some pretty cool conditions if you are headed over there. But if you are staying in Tallahassee, you will not miss any cool conditions. It will dip down to 25 once a cold front passes over. That Arctic air is going to bring in a lot of cooler vibes in here. And Friday, as I mentioned, with the rain, there will be some rain in the morning, so bring an umbrella if you are driving to class, but make sure that throughout the weekend you keep your pipes running because we do not want any frozen pipes, so keep the water dripping. Sunday it will be 32, but by Monday we will be back to normal here in Tallahassee, so enjoy the cold while it lasts. And what does the closing desk have to say for the end of our show for tonight?
Well, I'm not going to be traveling to Syracuse or to Mississippi for either of the sports games, but it doesn't even matter because we're still going to be very cold this weekend.
Yeah, so it's going to go down to 25, which I think was about how cold it got earlier in the week, and that's pretty much the coldest I've experienced here in Tallahassee. Very, very chilly. Fortunately, though, I saw in the Climate Prediction Center on their 10-day outlook that they said most of the country is going to be seeing some above average temperatures, which unfortunately I was hoping for the AMS conference up in Baltimore. We might have been able to see some snow, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that way.
Yeah, I was hoping that too, but that only goes out for the next 10 days, so we don't know what they say for the rest of the conference. I know that you won't be there for the rest of the time, but we will miss you if it snows. But yeah, so make sure that we did talk about some important winter weather safety, about how to stay warm. I know that we don't have to worry about traveling in the snow here, but of course, if you're traveling in the snow, stay cautious and preferably just stay off the roads if you're traveling in the snow. And also follow us on Twitter when you're not traveling in the snow.
And like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather.
And we're also on YouTube, which you should be watching us live every night at 6 p.m. YouTube.com/FSU weather.
And also follow us on Instagram and send us any cool pictures that you have at FSU weather on Instagram.
Yep. Well, thanks for tuning in to this first Thursday show of the semester. We'll take one last look at our 7-day forecast.